State elections in Indian-administered Kashmir attract the highest voter turnout in 25 years, but is it a sign of democracy working? What's in store for Kashmir under Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi? This is Inside Story. Well, after years of war and bloodshed, people in Indian-administered Kashmir usually don't take too much interest in elections. They're viewed for the most part as either illegitimate or futile, and boycotts and low voter turnout have been common. That is, until now. You see, the region has just held its assembly elections and they've been marked by the highest voter turnout in decades. For some observers, that's a sign people in Kashmir are more willing to take part in the political process this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the head of the ruling BJP party, made a concerted effort to win over voters in Kashmir, and while the BJP will likely fail to form the next local government in Kashmir, the elections are still a political milestone for Kashmir. Kashmir is, of course, one of the longest-running territorial disputes in the world. This dispute stretches back to the partition of India and Pakistan in 1947 following the end of British rule. Or not long after partition, the two countries went to war over control of Kashmir. The war lasted until 1948, after which a UN-sponsored ceasefire was signed in 1949. It divided the region along what is now known as the Line of Control. In 1987, disputed state elections in Jammu and Kashmir led to conflict with separatist fighters. In recent years, there have been efforts by India and Pakistan to limit the number of violent incidents across the line of control, but the situation remains tense. It's bringing the guest to this edition of Inside Story. Then, joining us in New Delhi is Sava Naqvi, political editor of Outlook magazine. From London, Victoria Schofield, and independent analysts on Kashmir and author of Kashmir in Conflict and in Islamabad, Michelle Malik, chairwoman of the Peace and Culture Organization and wife of jailed separatist leader Yasin Malik. Welcome to you all. If I could start with Sabah, why did people turn out in what's being called unprecedented numbers to vote? What do you see is the reason? First of all, I think militancy, which is down, so there has been less violence in Kashmir over the last during the reign of the current chief minister. Secondly, I would say we have to view elections in Kashmir as, people also want normal things in life. And this is not about asserting their faith in India, but about when I travel just now, as I have during all the Kashmir elections. Then people say elections is about democracy, about changing the local government, and so they are involved. Now, your other guest from Islamabad is the wife of a leader who is a separatist who does not believe in participating in democracy. But this time around, as I spoke to many of the separatists who I also know very well, after a while, to give a boycott call was proving to be counterproductive because nobody was going to listen to them. So in many places it was actually withdrawn. And there was also the chance of the BJP, led by Mr. Narendra Modi, taking advantage of a boycott call by, when normal voters do not vote, then the postal ballots. It's a slightly calm. It's a comic-like situation. The only picture, no doubt, complex situation. If I say two things, okay, care of a bath again, I would have some combining to the two things you want to say. I don't mind. Before we go into that, some of those complex details, I'd like to bring Victoria in. There is a basic question here, Victoria, though. Can there be a credible election in Kashmir under Indian military occupation and a rule which has been documented by human rights